I made 1,500 rands. Actually, I made more than that, but I made about 1,700 rands in one day. But the largest chunk of that was from a single contract that cost 1,500. And here is how I did it. So for the last 3 years, I have been running a small internet cafe, a small printing shop from my parents' yard here in Soweto. So over the past few years, I've noticed a pattern, which is that each year we keep hitting higher peaks than the previous year. So, for example, in year one, I peaked at around 2,100 Rand, somewhere in that range. I know I didn't even touch 3K even once that whole year. In year two, I actually made less than in year one, but there were more than, I know for sure there was more than 1 month where I hit peaks higher than the highest peak of year one. The highest peak of that year was around 3,700. It was almost 4 grand. And then in year three, 3,700 is just slightly higher than the average. In fact, the average for year three was 3,100. But of course, there were more seasons, there were more episodes where I was making less than 3 grand. But there were three big peaks, all of them higher than the highest peak of year two. And all of them, and those three peaks, they brought the average up. So this contract that I'm telling you about, it was, you could say, chance or timing, or universe mechanics. But because I've been running this shop for a while, it's allowed me to interact with more and more customers over the years. I've gained more and more of a loyal customer base. So this girl had been coming to my shop for a couple weeks, no, a couple months, doing her school assignments. I think she's in grade 11. So she came because of another customer who I already had for about 2 years prior. This girl I'm talking about started coming to my shop probably around April or May. Anyway, so after we built up a bit of a rapport and she started being able to come here frequently and on her own without her friend, one time she comes here and she tells me that she needs to print out a bunch of South African laws. So she had a list of about 13 legislations that she wanted 13 acts that she wanted to get printed out. And at first I'm thinking, okay, no, she just wants to print out the cover pages and maybe specific pages from each law. So I ask her and she says, yes. Her mother intervenes. And then her mother is like, why don't we print all the pages for all the laws? The girl was dumbfounded. I was even dumber founded. I was dumbest founded. It immediately clicked that, holy shit, this could go crazy. Because you know how legislation works, man. It's overly complicated so that no one understands it unless they become a lawyer. I.e., a single law could be about 23 pages of just stipulations and minor details about that law. So I tried to hide it as best as I could. I don't know how convincing I was. And I told this old lady, oh, okay, well, normally I charge 4 rand per page to print. And then I can see she hesitates a little. So I chime in and say, but because we're going to be doing so many pages, I will do them for 3 rand each. She's like, cool. I don't know if she would have agreed to the 4 rand price if I hadn't, wait, I may be misremembering, but whatever. Point is, I ended up doing them for three bucks each. When I ended up downloading, part of the reason why this lady brought her daughter to me to print out her documents was because she herself couldn't find them on her own. She'd been scouring the internet, she couldn't find any downloads, and at all the other printing shops that she went to, they just couldn't find them. But I had a friendly little helper by the name of ChatGPT. So I scanned the list of the laws that she had brought with her. I uploaded the picture onto ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT provided me links to websites where each of those laws were. That whole process probably took like 20 minutes to just scan it, ask ChatGPT to do it, and then go to each website, downloading the relevant law, and then once I acquired all of them, they totaled 500 pages. So I called this lady, and then she's like, "Cool." I called this lady later on, and then she's like, "Cool, print them." And then I'm like, "Well, I can't print them before I get a deposit." She's like, "Okay, cool. Print. I'll send 1,000 now, and then I'll give you 500 once you deliver them." Oh, lovely shit. Unfortunately, I was running low on ink that day, so I only managed to get out about 200 or 300. Yeah, no, slightly more than that. About 400 and something pages. Yeah, for and then I told her that I'd ordered some more ink, but it would be arriving 2 days later. She was patient. It was a weekend. Her daughter didn't need the projects until the next Friday. So it was all swell. Monday comes around, the ink arrives, and then I do the rest of her printouts. Kaching, she sends the balance of $500. So yeah, I know I said I made 1,500 in one day, but it was actually like the contract, took place over a whole weekend. But I received it on that day, you know what I'm saying? If I hadn't had ink problems, the whole 1.5, I would have gotten it on the same day. So anyway, this is just one contract that was particularly fascinating to me, and I wanted to share it. If you want to figure out how to do a similar business model to mine, where you're just like doing printouts and then other services on the side for people, like to upsell them to get more per page, yeah, basically, you add the value from your brain onto the page, and then you charge the surplus value that comes with your brain for that page. This page on its own is probably worth like 50 cents or rand. If I do a photocopy on it, it's worth 3 rand. If I do a printout on it, it's worth 4 rand. If I print someone's picture on it, it's worth 15 rand. If I laminate that said picture, now it's worth 27 rand or 30 rand. And if I do a poster for someone, this same piece of paper is now worth $70. All because of just how much excess value is going to the paper. It's probably the same amount of ink and paper or less, but the excess value makes it like it's leverage. Yeah, my knowledge is the leverage. So anyway, if you want to do something like this for yourself, you can hit me in the comments below. I'll try and respond if I'm not too busy, or you can DM me on Instagram, maybe Facebook. Man, this is clumsy as fuck. I really should have planned this part better. But you know what? There are links in the description. There are also links in the bio. If you want to contact me, you can check the description and the bio. And if you want to check out my products, you can check the bio. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you got any value out of this, stick around for more insightful takes like this by hitting that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.